It's that time again. The annual conference of the American Society of Ag Consultants, otherwise known as ASAC, is going to be held in Fort Myers, Florida, this November 4th and 5th. Kurt Covington is one of 9 professionals who will address the conference. The other speakers who will cover a wide range of topics represent Florida Farm Bureau, Florida Citrus Commission, University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture, National Ag Law Center, Risk Mitigators and Advisors, Tyler Associates, as well as the lead economist for dairy at CoBank, and myself, Chrissy Wozniak from North American Ag. The day and a half of presentations will be followed by ag tours on Tuesday afternoon at Echo Farms, one of my favorite places here in Fort Myers. Attendees will experience farming at its most creative, with unique demonstrations, plants, and techniques being used to help farmers and urban gardeners in developing countries. A second tour at Echo will showcase simple technologies that can improve food, water, and shelter for millions of people. A third tour of a hydroponic grower is also being planned. For more information and to register, visit www.agconsultants.org. That's www.agconsultants.org. See you there. Today's Ag Spotlight episode is sponsored by Energrow. Energrow's oilseed pressing system helps farmers crush their feed costs. The easy way to make fresh, homegrown, high-quality meal plus expeller pressed oil right on the farm. The fully automated Turnkey Crush Pro is easy to set up and run 24/7. To learn more, go to energrow.ca. Hi, and welcome to the North American Ag Spotlight. I'm Chrissy Wozniak. My guest today is an incredible young ag tech entrepreneur. She graduated from Savannah College of Art and Design with a B.F.A. in industrial design. She founded her first company, Plan B, B-E-E spelled, which has been featured on CNN and Time Magazine and received recognition by Forbes at their Agtech Summit. She's also the CEO of InsightTRAC. Today, I'll be speaking with her about InsightTRAC's robot mummy removal. I'd like to welcome Anna Haldewang. Welcome, Anna, and thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Chrissy. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so to start off, can you tell me a little bit about your background?
Yep. So as you mentioned, I have a background in product design. I grew up in a rural area in northern Indiana amongst corn and soy, and it's a small town.
And so how did you end up in ag working with almonds?
So this started out as a class project when I was attending Savannah College of Art and Design. My professor assigned us to create a self-sufficient object that stimulates the growth of plants. And so I started researching to the basic needs of plants and came across pollination and wanted to create a product that raises awareness to the decline of bees and what they're facing. And so I ended up creating this pollinating drone concept, and it ended up going viral worldwide. And from that positive feedback, I ended up founding the company in 2017 called Plan B. And I set my sights on the almond industry because they rely 100% on bees to pollinate their crop every year. And 80% of the world's almonds are grown in California, and the second largest is Australia at 6%. So this gave me the opportunity to sell this product twice a year because they're opposite seasons. And the first season up for bloom was Australia. So I built a super simple pollinating drone. I took it out to Australia, and we had a lot of wind issues. We had battery issues. It did not work well. And so I came back from that trip and I asked myself, well, where can I go from here? And so we ended up moving to a pollinating ground robot. And I built something pretty simple, took it out to California, and we ran into some efficiency issues. But while I was out there, I was having lunch with one of my advisors who's an almond grower. And he came to me in a really bad mood, and he was complaining about these navel orangeworms and these mummies. And I said, well, tell me more. And so from that conversation and speaking with other growers in the area, I learned that there was a greater need for innovation within the winter sanitation space. So in February of 2019, we pivoted from pollination to winter sanitation, and InsightTRAC was born. And we've been in development since.
That is incredible. That's so cool. And many of our viewers and listeners, they're not involved in orchard production. So can you tell us more about that, the problem InsightTRAC, the robotic mummy removal, solves, and what exactly is a mummy?
Mm-hmm. So During the almond harvest, they'll take shakers to the trunks and they'll shake the trees for a few seconds and the almonds will drop. However, not every almond is ready to be harvested during that time. So then in the winter, when the leaves fall off the trees, those leftover almonds in the trees then turn rotten and they're called mummies.
Oh.
And there's this pest called Navel Orangeworm, and it is the number one pest problem for almond growers. It'll hibernate inside of this mummy during the winter. And in the spring, it'll emerge into a moth and it'll damage the quality and yield of next year's crop. So at a 2% level, you can easily have $250 to $300 per acre in damage caused by navel orangeworm. So it's fairly easy to back into the economics of removing all of those nuts from the trees during when they're at their weakest, when they're hibernating inside of the mummy. The foundation is winter sanitation to remove them all. Now, the issue with that is that they'll, in the wintertime, to remove all these mummies, they'll take shakers, they'll come back through with the harvesters and they'll shake the bottoms of the trunks and the mummies will drop. However, this only works during a fog or after a rain when mummies are at their heaviest. If a grower comes in on a bright, sunshiny, dry day, it's just not effective. And so every year there is always some reason why winter sanitation didn't go well. It was either too wet and the shakers couldn't get into the orchard. It was too dry and the mummies didn't fall off at all. Or so that's the issue with shakers. And if those are the two issues, then they'll bring in hand pullers. And those are labor contractors. And hand pullers will take 15-foot bamboo sticks and they will hit and they will poke each mummy out of the tree. And so another frustrating pain point for growers is that this is pretty costly. It's backbreaking work and nobody wants to do this job. And so we've invented a way to automate that method where we don't rely on weather. We are accurate and growers don't need to rely on labor to do this job. And we're removing as many mummies from the tree as we possibly can.
That's amazing. So how does it actually work?
So when the rover, it's about 4 feet wide, 5 feet long, and 6 feet tall. And we made it this size to be fairly compact so that you can tow it around behind a truck fairly easily and bring it from orchard to orchard. And then as it's rolling down the middle of the row, it's not hitting any branches, which helps with the turrets at the top. So it doesn't affect them. So we use a target remove report method. So when it's rolling down the middle of the row, it will stop in front of a section of the tree. It will target the mummies in the tree with its Orchard ID camera system. And through machine learning, we've trained the model through thousands of images to identify what a mummy is and what it isn't. So once it captures an image of that section of the tree, it will then map out the fast and the quickest route to all of those mummies in a matter of seconds.
Wow.
And once it identifies those mummies, it then shoots a biodegradable pellet and individually removes each one in a matter of seconds. And then once it does that, it then takes another picture to verify that it removes all the mummies from the trees before it moves forward 5 feet and repeats that process.
Wow, that is so cool. Just amazing. And what are the pellets made of?
So I cannot say this time because we are currently, we actually have some field tests going on right now where we're exploring different materials, but those pellets are biodegradable. Mm-hmm. And we're very excited to be bringing this to growers as a more sustainable method to their current practices.
Right. And it also collects data while it's roaming the orchard. So mm-hmm. How does that work and what does it collect?
Yep. So while it's targeting and removing the mummies from the trees, it's collecting valuable data about every tree, every variety, and every acre in the orchard. So in the end, we'll be able to present the grower with a heat map, and we'll be able to show them where they're heaviest in the orchard with mummies, where they are lightest, how many mummies in total we removed. And over time, the grower is able to overlay this information and problem solve as to why certain parts of their orchard are receiving mummies the heaviest. So even if that means that there are certain sections where maybe they could shake twice for harvest, or is the reason why there's mummies in that certain section could correlate back to water stress, we're very excited to to having this data relay more information about what's happening within their orchards.
Right. That is really cool. And so how fast does it work through the orchard?
So it depends on the amount of mummies that you have per tree, because we are targeting each one individually. But say, for example, you have 50 mummies per tree, we will be able to get through 1 acre in about 3 hours. But we work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And because of this, we are able to be equivalent to 8 pullers with 1 rover.
Really? Yeah. Wow. And then, so do you provide the service, or does the producer purchase the robot?
For the first few years, we will be providing the service. And then after that, we do plan to sell directly to the growers.
Wow. And is it just for almonds, or are there use cases in other orchards?
Yes. So right now that we are focused on just almonds, but we are exploring other crops as well. And we will be expanding into other countries in the near future too.
Right. And so does InsightTRAC manufacture the robot?
So we've partnered with a development company who manufactures the rovers for us. But when we begin to scale within the next few years, we will be seeking a manufacturing partner in that area the next couple of years.
And so what areas do you serve right now?
Right now, we serve Central Valley in California because they grow 80% of the world's almonds. And then the second largest is Australia at about 6%. And so we travel over there during the months of June to July and perform those services over there as well. Because while they don't have navel orangeworm, they actually have the cousin of navel orangeworm called carob moth.
Oh, okay.
So similar pest, same issue.
Yeah. So what else does InsightTRAC do?
Right now, we're focused on winter sanitation and providing the best quality and service possible to the grower. But my vision for the rover is that it will be in the orchard 24/7, 365 days a year, performing a role for the grower every single season across multiple crops.
Right. And because you came into ag as an adult, your perspective might be different than those who were born into the industry. So what do you see as the greatest opportunities that lay ahead for agriculture?
Yeah, I think of it from an autonomy side. I mean, there's a lot of companies that are emerging that collect data within the orchard, and I definitely see that as a huge value for growers. And right now, they currently think of their acreage. They currently think of it as by acre. And because we're going more towards precision technology, I'm envisioning that that'll eventually get down to a per tree basis, where we will be able to measure the quality and the quantity that tree is producing, and be able to take action on a per tree basis.
Right. Yeah. So the future of autonomy is vast, really. There's so many things that humans don't want to do anymore. So it's wide open, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of labor issues, and technology definitely there's a great opportunity there for technology to serve the grower.
Mm-hmm. And where can people find more information about InsightTRAC?
So we are on all social media platforms. I just added the account of InsightTRAC last week. So please be one of the first to join on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. But you can also check us out on our website at www.insighttrac.com. And that's InsightTRAC is spelled InsightTRAC. And you can also email us at info@insighttrac.com.
Awesome. And I have one last question for you. So why do you do what you do? What gets you out of bed in the morning and is propelling you forward?
Definitely the growers make me get out of bed in the morning. Growers face a lot of challenges, and so much of it is out of their control. So for example, at the beginning of a season, they start at the top of the charts, right? And then something with bloom happens and weather's out of their control. So there's a peg down there. And then the ever changing of rules and regulations comes into play. And then they're taking down another peg. And then water shortage happens. So they're taking down another peg. And then your rising labor rates come into play and it goes down another peg, et cetera, et cetera. And we are relieving some of those pain points by delivering a high quality product that doesn't rely on weather. It's accurate, consistent, and provides further data into their orchard. And with InsightTRAC focusing on the health and quality of the orchard, this in turn improves overall yield. And we are very excited and proud to be a contributing factor to those results.
Yeah, that is really incredible. And thank you for what you do for the industry. That's really amazing.
Thank you, Chrissy. We're pretty excited to bring this to market, and we look forward to serving growers in the near future.
Yeah. So, and thanks so much for joining me today. The future of technology is really here, and it's incredible. It's fun to learn about what's happening right before our eyes. And
yes.
And thanks to all who are watching or listening. If you want more information, the links are provided in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe to North American Ag Spotlight on our YouTube and Rumble channels. And the podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks and have a great day. Thanks so much for listening to today's Ag Spotlight episode, where we put the spotlight on people and companies doing great things for the agricultural industry. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, or on your favorite podcasting platform, and give us a 5-star review. You can also follow us on YouTube and Rumble to see the video version of Ag Spotlight. Also, head on over to NorthAmericanAg.com to subscribe to our Industry Connect update newsletter. If you're interested in advertising opportunities, email us at connect@NorthAmericanAg.com. Thanks for listening.